Genesis. Introduction. The title Genesis comes from the Greek word meaning, beginning. It can be said to be the book of the beginning because this book describes the creation of the world, the origin of humanity, sin and suffering in the world, and God's way of dealing with humanity. Likewise, the origin of the nation of Israel is emphasized in this book. Genesis can be divided into two main parts. 1. Chapters 1 to 11. The creation of the world and the first history of mankind. It contains the history of Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel, Noah and the Great Flood, and the Tower of Babel. It shows that although God's works and plans for mankind were good, they were ruined because of man's disobedience. 2. Chapters 12 to 50. The history of Israel's ancestors. First is the story of Abraham, who was commendable because of his faith and wholehearted obedience to God. Following this is the history of his son Isaac, and his grandson Jacob, also called Israel, and his 12 sons, the founders of the 12 tribes of Israel. There is only mention of Jacob's son, Joseph, and the events that motivated Jacob and his other sons and their families to live in Egypt. Although this book tells about people, it is primarily an account of what God has done. It begins with the declaration that God created the world, and ends with a promise that God will continue to show his concern for his chosen people. God is the main character throughout the book. He judges and punishes those who commit sins, leads and helps his people, and adjusts their history. This book was written to record and explain the history of the faith of a people, and to keep this faith alive.